OK, it's time for Barrage the Farage. I've absolutely no idea what you've sent me, so here goes. Mickey asks, what do you think needs to be done about the levels of violent street crime we now see? Mickey, it is disturbing, worrying, and I think quite frightening. And I think parents of teenagers, parents of young people, when their kids are going out on a Saturday night, are really genuinely worried about the level of violence. All we see on mainstream media are stabbings in London. You would think all the violent crime is in London. Actually, pro rata, you'll find in Birmingham and other cities like that, actually it's even worse, let alone gun crime in Liverpool or wherever else it may be. Examples, Bishopsgate. Bishopsgate in the heart of the city of London the other day at 9:45 in the morning. A masked gang break into a shop, steal things from the shop, steal watches off the arms of customers. 3 city workers intervene, try to keep the peace. All 3 get stabbed. Now, that happened to be in London, but it could have been anywhere. We have got a very, very major problem with increasing levels of crime. Violent crime in particular is what Mickey asked about. But actually, many other crimes now, we simply don't even bother to report because we know all that will happen is it gets lodged for insurance purposes. We've got real problems. Why is it happening? Well, one of my feelings is that our communities are broken down so much. I won't go in depth into why that is now, but I think government policies have a fair bit to do with it in our cities. Matt asks, can British politics be saved? It's all a complete disaster. Matt, it's often been a complete disaster. There is nothing new under the sun. I can promise you the mid-1970s, it was even worse than this. So we've been through bad periods, and then we get periods of renaissance. I think the most depressing thing about our politics right now is all of these issues that I've tried since GBNews launched to identify, such as the NHS waiting list, which I thought would increase and more people would need to go private, the shortage of energy that could lead to the lights going out, the cross-channel crisis. All of these things I've pointed out, and I've done my best to try and influence and change the national debate on these things, and we get some political response to it. But the opposition party, on virtually all of these issues, have exactly the same policies. And that, to me, is the most depressing thing. We're not having proper debates about big issues. I've got time, I think, for one more. Bob says, attacking the civilian population in Ukraine is surely a war crime. Do you think Donald Trump would have put Putin in his place? Look, Bob, Donald Trump, was asked this question in my presence. He said that he told Putin if he invaded Ukraine that the architecture of Moscow would be reconfigured. And when Donald Trump says that to me, I believe that he said it. As to whether what he's done or anyone else has done is a war crime isn't the point. What we have now is a nationalist Russian leader boxed into a corner, unable to back down. And here's the thing that I find depressing. You've got the president of the USA talking about potential Armageddon, yet not once talking about any form of peace negotiation. And I do believe, however monstrous we think Putin may be, there should be, through third channels, and whether that's through a Middle Eastern country or whatever it is, we should be having conversations.